session. Recordings in progress. Welcome, ladies. Sally, you got the floor. I will bring people in as you are doing whatever it is you're going to do. Let's see what Sally has in store for us today.
Hey everyone, welcome to Women Action Takers. Today we welcome Linda Sunshine West, who will be talking to a speaker today. I don't even have her name, do I? But I know she's going to be amazing, and it's going to be a great show for you today. And so we're going to do some networking, we're going to do some fun stuff, and it's going to be lots of fun. So I'm going to send it on over to Linda West, and she's going to tell us what we're going to do today.
Awesome. Thanks, Sally. So ladies, as you can tell, we're just kind of winging it today, so thank you so much for being here. And, welcome to Women Action Takers. I started this about a little over 3 years ago. And I started it because I wanted to be around other women who are action takers. And I found that that's what's been happening. We put something out into the universe, and you know what you want. And if you're confident about it, Nathan, please, I'm speaking now. My dog. He has a human name. But if you put out to the universe what it is that you want to attract, then it finds you. And so that's what I've been doing, is putting that out there. And, Women Action Takers, really, it's all about, finding that tribe of women who support, inspire, and motivate you to take action as well. So by surrounding ourselves by, those people, we're going to, we're going to take that action that we're looking for. Our speaker of the day is Jennifer Horspool. She is a PR expert, and she actually just joined us right now. But before we get into Jennifer, what we're going to do is go around the room. I want everybody to, we're going to talk about gratitude today. And the reason we're going to talk about gratitude is today is the anniversary of 9/11. That was a day that really rocked the world. Things started to change because of the events that happened, at 9/11, it's just the tragic event. And while I don't want to go into a deep, I don't want to go into a downward spiral, I want to talk about the gratitude for what we do have today, for the freedoms that we still do have. I'm in the U.S. and many of you here are in the U.S., but it's also other countries. While people talk about we're losing our freedoms, I like to concentrate and focus on the freedoms that I still do have, because I can go all day long about the freedoms that we don't have, but really to have gratitude for the freedoms that we do have. So today, what I'd like to do again is go around the room and have everybody just talk about gratitude and something that you're grateful for. You give everybody like about a minute to do that, and then just share with us just briefly what your business is. This event is not about selling to each other. It's about making connections. It's about learning who we are, what we're all about, because I truly believe that that's way more valuable than talking about our business and trying to sell us something. That's not what this is about. So the gratitude the gratitude exercise that we're going to do right now is really like how we can connect with each other through the gratitude that we all have. So I'm going to start with, as I see you on my screen, if you don't want to share something about gratitude, just send me a private message in the chat and I will skip over you. I won't make that person doesn't want to talk about gratitude. I'm not going to do that. So just so you know, it'll be, if somebody doesn't want to share this, I totally am open to you not doing that. So Janet, is your hand up because you want to go first, or because you're clapping, or you don't want to talk about gratitude? You want to go first? Awesome. We have a volunteer. Janet, thank you so much for volunteering. Let me do the speaker thing. Go ahead and share with us. What are you grateful for, Janet?
Well, I definitely am grateful for being on here today. Can you all hear me okay? And not only today is 9/11, and we can all probably remember where we were. It's been a very emotional week. We welcomed home Jared Schmitz to the St. Louis area, and I showed up at 10:30 with my husband, and we stayed until he finally drove through about 1,000 motorcyclists in front of him, escorting him to Bowie Funeral Home. the amount of people that were there. You know, we only hear about the bad things on the news and things that could, you know, tear us down. But when you see something, as many people that were there, just even on our exit, just as he was turning into the funeral home with his family, that was so much gratitude and so much pride and strength to be a part of that. And just to daily remember that it's there, that it is there. We may not see that part, but just how the community came together. Even the helicopter crash in San Diego, when we lost 5 Navy people there, the donations that have poured in from across the country, probably from around the world. I mean, just the gratitude that people show for these people, and that something so tragic has to happen, but yet we're all here. We are here. There are more than just one of us. We are not alone. And just knowing that, I am so grateful for that. And so proud to be in this country and still have people like you all and people that are serving. I'm a veteran. My husband's a veteran. And just to know that you all are still, we're still there. We're still waiting. So that's my gratitude. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you for sharing. Thank you so much for kicking off the gratitude session, with such power. I truly appreciate you for sharing that. And thank you for your service, your husband. My husband's ex-Marine, my son, and so it runs in my family as well. So everybody here, yes.
They are not ex-Marines. My
Oh.
husband and your husband are former Marines, and they will always be a Marine.
Thank you for correcting that.
Simplify.
He likes it when I call him Sailor. I don't know why, but he does. He likes.
Well, that's a thing between you two.
I know. Hey, Sailor. It really is. It's a thing between us. Yeah. But it's but thank you so much for your service, and thank you for kicking off our gratitude session like that. Truly appreciate it. If anybody wants to raise their hand to go next, go ahead and raise your hand and we'll do it that way. Rachel, please.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I'm so grateful, regardless of what you hear on TV or what you hear from anybody, America is the best place to be. It's a country with people that are so passionate about other people. This is where human life counts. If you don't know it, visit other countries, you will find out. And I'm so grateful for the life I have lived here. I was in the Navy for 12 and a half years. And after that, I've been, in my family and doing all the things that I want to do that I couldn't have done anywhere else. And one of the things I'm really grateful for today is because of 9/11. Most people will die every day, and it hurts when you lose somebody. But one thing I'm grateful for is the work that I do. Losing a family member and losing their income on top of it is the worst thing, and most of the time women face. You lose your husband and you have no idea what else to do, and you don't have no money. See, so I teach women about the importance of life insurance so that even when you lose somebody you love, but you don't have to lose your children's life with it. So I teach that every day, and I'm so grateful that, I have paid life claim to people that really need it. Because without that paycheck, without money coming in, women, most of the time we are lost. And, you are on a budget spending $5,000 on food a month, then bam, your husband passed away. There's nothing you can do, and you are back to clipping coupons. And I'm so grateful that the work I do, I cannot bring anybody loved one back, and I can cry with them as much as I can, but I make their life continuous, even though without the person they love, and that person is saying, even though I'm dead, but I'm still taking care of you. It could be a husband, it could be a wife. And I'm so grateful for that.
Thank you so much, Rachel. And again, thank you for your service. Truly appreciate you and for what you're doing to help women all over the world. So much. thank you for being here today. And yeah, that gratitude, coming into this space of gratitude, for those who are just joining us, we were talking about what we're grateful for today. This is the topic that I wanted to start the networking event off with. It's no longer a networking event. I'll have to get my mind right on that. But, this is an event, the Women Action Takers event. It's about bringing women together to motivate and inspire each other to take action. So thank you all for being here. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Janet. Does anybody want to raise their hand to go next? If not, Jennifer, please unmute yourself. Jennifer's next.
Hi guys. So I don't know who's into angel numbers right now, but it is 1111 on 9/11. And if there's definitely something about that, and I just want to recognize that means the angels are with us. What I'm grateful for is knowing things like that, and I'm really grateful for perspective and education. I'm grateful for all of you and for this opportunity to speak with you today, but it really is about perception. And I just recently, I lost my doggie last week. I found her drowned in my jacuzzi, and it's been the roughest week in the world for me, right? To think I was a bad mom, you know what I mean? That I allowed, my poor doggie to drown. I didn't protect her against that. And so I had to come to a lot of realizations this week, and letting go. And one of the ways that I was able to do that was I was listening to this book by Craig Beck called The Switch, and he talks about loss. And I'm going to actually circle back to Rachel when I do my talk later, but he talks about loss, and he says, loss is an egocentric thing, because we are having a human experience. So we're experiencing loss from our human, we're the ones that are experiencing loss, but the person who has gone on, the one who's moved on, is in a better place, and they're back with spirit. We don't need to feel sorry for them. They're not hurting. We're the ones hurting. And so it's ours to let go and to heal and to say, they're okay. We don't have to cry for them. Now we just have to put our pieces of ourselves back together, because it's ego. So I'm appreciative for that and perspective, and we'll go into more, but I appreciate Linda for inviting me here, and thank you so much.
Wow, thank you for that, Jennifer. I'm looking forward to your talk today. She will be talking about, PR and marketing, as you can see by her banner there. And yeah, thank you so much for sharing, that and that loss. To me, pets are not pets. To me, pets are humans. They have a better soul than we do. And so, I truly, just putting my heart out to you, and for that loss, because our dogs, like we talk about it all the time, we don't know what's going to happen when they go, because I have never owned a dog as an adult. So it's, I just don't know, but my heart goes out to you, just remembering those wonderful puppy moments, right? Thank you so much for sharing. Next up, Sally, I see you got your hand up. Sally, you want to share with us what you're grateful?
Sure. And I just want to piggyback on something that Jennifer said. I am grateful for books and for writers and for writing, because they open up our hearts, they open up our thoughts, they open up our minds, and they bring light into the world. And these are a lot of these books. I mean, I'm reading books that were written 100 years ago, and they still are touching me. So for all the writers out there, thank you. And I am grateful, forever grateful, for having that and being able to read. So that's mine.
Awesome, Sally. Thank you so much. And thanks for joining the rankings of being one of those, writers that helps other people, to read your story and to connect with you, but also to change their lives. Because, we never know what our story is going to do when we share it. And so really sharing those stories is really valuable. So thank you so much for that, Sally. Does anybody want to volunteer to go next? If not, I'm just going to call on you. I don't see any hands going. Oh, Rebecca, you were going to be next anyway. So Rebecca, you're up. Go ahead and unmute yourself and share. What are you grateful for?
Okay. Hi. First of all, I'm grateful for you, Linda Sunshine West. And I don't even remember how I found this woman, but I'm really grateful to be a part of your community, of this community. And this thing about gratitude, it's so interesting, because there are times during the day, during the week, I can just break down, cry because of the gratitude that I'm feeling. And then there's times where this gratitude thing, yeah, okay, I'm grateful. So it's really a conscious awareness of gratitude. And I'm going to say I'm grateful for the sun, because who says thank you to the sun? And grateful for the moments, just the moments of self-awareness, the moments that I can choose, the moments that, and all of us here, we're conscious enough to be able to choose our next behavior, our next words. So I'm grateful for self-awareness, and I'm grateful for all of you. And I'm grateful just for being here in this moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you so much. And I don't know how you found me either, but I'm glad you did. And thank you for that. And yeah, the sun, right? Sunshine, that's my name. But the sun, having that gratitude for the sun, because it's really what helps us to be here or be alive, for today. And so thank you so much for that. And I'm going to move to, does anybody want to raise their hand? Okay, seeing no hands raised, I'm going to go to Harumi. Harumi, you want to go and unmute yourself and share with us, what are you
Oh my
grateful
gosh.
for? You're not going to get out of here alive. I mean, you're not going to get out of here without sharing what you're grateful for today, ladies.
Thank you, Linda. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Harumi Anderson. So actually, I am from Toyota, Japan, but now I live in Columbus, Indiana with my husband. So gratitude, I know this is one of the most important things to do. I mean, things to feel, appreciate. But it's so easy to kind of forget what is gratitude for. Yes, somebody like I said, I have to be intentional to really appreciate it, to have gratitude to something. I'm sure that because it's so easy to take for granted, right? The life we have. I am so grateful the things I can do what I'm doing right now, and also grateful for my husband to let me do this. I mean, to do what I want to do. Maybe I should not be doing, but I want to do. So it's so I just feel great just to be here too, and to live in the States, to live in a in this community, and yes, I don't know what to say, but yes, it's so good, and to be able to go to our church and then we just worship and then do things together. Yes, I am grateful, and I want to really tell myself what I am grateful for. I really need to appreciate myself. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you, Harumi. I love it. And I loved how you were like, why am I next? But you did it anyway. So congratulations. I love that. I love that. Before we go to the next person, I just want to say, Erica and Janine, we see you that you are there. We're sending you a request to join as a panelist. And what that means is that you'll be on screen. Otherwise, you'll watch us from the background. And thank you so much for being there. If you'd like to participate in the gratitude, if you're not going to come up here on the screen, if you want to participate, just go ahead and write it in the chat so we can see what you're grateful for as well. So next up, Verpy, you're up.
Hey, thank you, Linda, and thank you everyone who are here. So this is Virpi. I'm currently in Finland. I spent 20 years in Singapore and a bit in Malaysia. So now I'm in Finland, the other side of the world from Americas, but still really grateful to be included into this great tribe of women action takers. And the biggest thing that firstly, listening all these, what you're grateful, I just feel that I'm grateful for actually having so wonderful women that I can connect, and with some of you I'm already connected and going deeper with a connection and collaboration. But what I really appreciate in all of you is your readiness to show that gratitude. And I for sure know that a lot of us, everyone, each of us, we have experiences losses. They might be permanent losses, they might be temporary losses, but there are losses, and you all have been doing a lot of work on your own healing, and that is really how you impact the healing of the whole world. So I'm really grateful of having that type of people environment, and the more positive human connections we have, the more positive our own life experiences. And I also wish that each of you really give credit to your own healing and, you know, finding the balance, because that has a huge impact in the whole world. So my gratefulness is really the connections, especially this current year, the connections, the opportunities, really the joy of life that has come to my life this year. This is what I've been most grateful for. And also I'm very grateful that we're all still here, so that each of us woke up this morning, and this day and this moment will be a part of our past tomorrow. So we are doing something new today that becomes our past. So I'm grateful for that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Virpi, for being here. Pronounce your name for me so I can say it right, because I know I say it wrong every time. Virpi. Okay. Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for that. And, you know, sharing, and, you know, this gratefulness today we're talking about is mainly, you know, I've done this before in this, you know, a few months ago or what have you. I love this because we are all grateful, you know, for so many different things in our lives, but I want to hear from you what it is that you're grateful for. You may actually be grateful for the same thing as somebody else. So don't feel any pressure to come up with something different, right? It's not about that. It's really about what are you grateful for? I want to hear from you today. And we're doing this because, you know, 9/11, this is, you know, anniversary of 9/11. And I just wanted to make sure that we, you know, can share what we are grateful for. Those people who died, you know, in those towers, the people who died after that. So many tragedies have happened after that incident. We always have tragedies on this planet, but that was like one that really shaped a lot of our freedoms, loss of freedoms here in the US. So what are we really grateful for today? This is what we're talking about. It's not talking about the negative things, but that, like, what I'm still grateful for today, you know, from not about that incident, but just in my life in general. So next up we have Tanisha. Go ahead and unmute yourself, girl. Share with us, what are you grateful for?
Hi, everybody. So there's lots of things that I'm grateful for, but what I would like to share about today is a theme that has happened over and over again in my life, which I'm going to call them hidden blessings. There have been so many times in my life where something has happened. It's not what I planned. It's not what I wanted, but it happened. And going through it was very, you know, sometimes traumatic, sometimes just very hard. But once I got on the other side of it, you know, it might have been months later, years later, I was able to look back and say, okay, well, if that thing hadn't happened, I wouldn't be where I am now, which is a place that I need to be because of the things that are coming to me now for one reason or the other. So that is what I'm grateful for today, is hidden blessings.
I love that, Tanisha, the hidden blessings. You saw Virpi put it in the chat there as well. And, you know, I love having that perspective because, you know, while we're going through the tragedy, we might not see the blessing that's going to come from it. But one thing that I've learned for me is that is helpful for that is while I'm going through the tragedy, I try to see what is what am I learning today that's going to help me later, but what is the blessing that's going to come from this? It's hard to do, and I do realize that, but sometimes it really helps me to get through the situation faster. I know that we have like a grieving process that people go through. Some go through it fast, some go through it slow. Every situation is different, but you know how this is one of the ways that helps me to move through, you know, a situation quicker. And for me, I want to move through it quicker. Like, I don't want to sit there for a long time. Been there, done that. It doesn't work for me as well. So anyway, everybody has their own grieving process. For me, that's something that works for me. Next up, Janara, welcome to the stage. Good to see you today, lady. Go ahead and share with us, what are you grateful for?
Hi, guys. First of all, I'm really grateful to just be in this space with other women and hearing you guys' voice and, you know, having the space for us to be able to have our voices be heard. And on top of that, personal wise, like, I'm really grateful for the fact that I am so self-aware now that Not only that I'm able to help heal myself, that I can also share my journey to help other people, other moms specifically, to kind of get through the rough patches of being a parent and having trauma. So I'm really grateful for, having the space and being here really to just be able to do that, to be able to share my experiences and my journey and, the good and the bad of it. And just being with like-minded people, especially women. I love being in that space because I feel like it helps so much with not only our journey as women, but also our growth as women, as individual as well. So thank you so much.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much. Being in this space with these incredible women today, I'm going to share what I'm grateful for when we get to the end here today, but just, hearing everybody and what they are grateful for, it really inspires me and reminds, it's like a continual reminder. Sometimes we do need that reminder. Like, Erica mentioned in the chat here, she said, I'm working on thinking more like Janet was saying, I believe everything happens for a good reason. You may not see it immediately. And it's so true, right? We might not see it immediately. We might not see it for decades, and it's okay. It's okay. It's part of our process. I had many things that I did not see the good in them for many, many, many decades. I make it sound like I'm 150 years old. Okay, I'm not. I'm close to 60. So I'm getting there on the 6 decades. That would actually be 7 decades though, right? Let me see. How do we do this? I don't know. Whatever. I don't know how all that works. But it's interesting because as we go through life and we learn and grow, there's different things that we learn from the situations that we're in if we're open to learning them. And I think that's the key there. And I'll be sharing that. I'll be part of my gratitude that I share in a little bit. So next up we have Farah. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Farah. Share with us, what are you grateful for?
Hi, everyone. I am grateful for being a woman, and being able to hold this space with all of you. I'm logging in from India. I'm going to turn into a pumpkin tonight. It's almost midnight, but I always log in at this hour. We were talking about grief and dealing with it. I wanted to share that tomorrow on what is tomorrow? The 10th. Is it the 12th tomorrow? I'm so lost.
The 12th, yeah, the 12th.
It's the 12th. Yeah, the 12th is when I lost my first daughter, and I took almost 15 years to even uncover that. I had hidden that grief. So I've been able to deal with it, and I'm celebrating her, and I'm celebrating and grateful for my second beautiful daughter, who's 21 now. Really happy to be here. As many of you have said, this tribe that we've created, I'm just grateful for you, Linda, because every time I come here, I go back expanded. So thank you again, everyone. Yeah.
Well, Farah, thank you. Thank you for sharing that about your daughter. My condolences, but congratulations for you to moving to that next space, right? And being able to use the power of that, because by sharing our story, we all know how powerful our stories are. And by sharing your story, there's somebody out there who needs to hear what you're about to share with them, right? So it's really important for us to come to that place where we can now share our stories in a way that it helps to impact others' lives and it helps to move them. Women Action Takers is all about action, right? Moving them into a place of action where they can heal as well. So thank you for going through that journey and sharing that with us. So next up we have Rashana. She's our comedian for the day. But first, before we get there, Rashana, I want you to share with us, what are you grateful for? And welcome to the Women Action Takers. This is our first meeting. So congratulations. Welcome for being here.
Thank you for having me, Linda, again. I basically can just say that I'm grateful for opportunities as they present themselves, and learning that opportunities come in all forms. There are opportunities for everything, for you to share as we are today, opportunities to forgive, opportunities to grow, all of these things. I no longer say that I believe in luck or, good luck, because I believe that luck is simply preparation meeting opportunity. So I just really do I really am just grateful for every opportunity presented to me every day.
Fantastic. I love that. Yeah, opportunities are abundant, but are we doing something about them, right? I like to say, see the opportunity, then seize the opportunity. So we have the choice to do that or to not do that. So awesome. Thank you, Rashana, for being here. I'm so excited to hear what you have to share today and to introduce you. Nancy, you're up. Go and unmute yourself. Share with us, what are you grateful for?
Hi, everybody. It's always a pleasure to be with all of you ladies. But as I'm thinking about 9/11 today, I'm really feeling very grateful for my daughter. I was very pregnant on 9/11, and it really made me think, what am I doing bringing another human being into this world and this chaos, in the moment of that. And, as I look downstairs, my living room is filled with all her stuff because we're moving her to her second year at college, her first year in her own apartment. But wow, just bringing this up is making me realize she's an amazing gift. I'm so lucky to have my daughters and to be their mother. And I'm just very grateful for the experience. And also on this side of it, knowing that trust that we're all talking about, that like things happen for a reason. And I can't, in that questioning, in that moment, when everything started coming out and I was just holding my belly and going, oh my God, what am I doing? And being able to pause and say, this is why you're doing it. And to recognize the just being in this country and the greatness and despite all its issues and problems, but to be able to bring my daughter up in this country and to have the ability to be her mom, I'm truly grateful for. So thank you, Linda, for the opportunity to share that.
Wow, thank you, Nancy. And yeah, what a great realization that you had there, right? It's like, what am I doing bringing a child into this world? Like, how many people actually ask that question, not even on 9/11, right? Just bringing that question up. And then we do find the reason later. So thank you so much for sharing that and for moving into that. Pamela, you're up next. What are you grateful for?
Hello, everyone. I'm grateful to be here. And I'm grateful for Linda Sunshine West for making this possible. Oops. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear and see you, and we can hear you at the beginning as well.
Oh, because it said unmute now. I am so grateful to be with the 20 plus women in this book who I've gotten to know most of you and love all of you, and just so exciting. I'm a coach, and when I coach, I use a platform called Mental Fitness. And one of the questions we ask ourselves every day, not just for really horrible things that happen to us, but just, oh, I missed a meeting, I forgot about this call, is what is the gift or opportunity in that? And a tragedy, obviously, it may take a while, as Linda said, to find that gift. But if we can even go down a level of the simplest things in our life, that is the way to really be grateful for anything. So there is an easy way to do that. Just ask yourself, after anything bad happens or you let your inner critic start beating you up, just say, hold on, I'm going to find a gift or opportunity in this bad thing that's happening to me right now. As far as 9/11, I was living in Toronto, Canada. I was up there with a pharmaceutical company. And I had just come back to my condo from walking my dog, and one of my reps called me and said, you've got to watch the TV right now. You've got to watch TV right now. And I'm like, what? So I turned the TV on, and I was in utter shock and amazement. My heart sunk, or my heart fell, my stomach sunk, and all I could think of was my family back in the States. And right after that, I started calling to see if everyone was okay, and I couldn't get through. So all I could do was pray and hope and trust that they were all safe, knowing that there were 3,000 plus people who perished, and then there were many, many more people who were putting their lives at risk for us. Now, just really quickly, I want to say that I'm so thankful to live in the United States. No matter what kind of strife we're going through now, we still have so much freedom. And everyone talks about, you're trying to take my freedom away by making me do this and making me do that. I don't think anyone's making us do anything. We still have freedom. And this country, we are probably the freest country out there. And I'm so blessed and grateful to be living here and to be able to connect with people from all over the world via Zoom, via COVID. It has brought us closer together. So yay, COVID, in a way. There's so many blessings that have come out of this. And thank you all for being here today. And I'm so happy to be with you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Pamela, for the work you do. And it is true, I think I got everybody. Yeah, I got everybody. It is true, like seeing that blessing, right? I remember when COVID first, like when we first heard about COVID, and it didn't seem like a big deal yet. And then it moved into this, shutting off the whole world and just closing everybody off. And I heard a story that really hit with me, is that this gentleman shared, he was in France. And this was the very, very beginning of COVID, and he did this post on Facebook, how he was in his house and his mother, who was sick with COVID, they wouldn't take anybody in the hospitals. And that there he was in his house with his mother with COVID. She died in the house with him. He wasn't able to take care of her. And here it was 5 days later, his mother was dead in his house. And I just thought about, wow, the severity of this, that we don't have any idea what's going to happen, but the severity was already showing itself at the very, very beginning. And so how do we look at the blessings in this situation through that? And then as things went on, like I was like, okay, things were not going bad for me. Things were going well for me, actually, when COVID started hitting and we had got shut down. And 3 weeks into it, I was thinking about my own self and how, things were good. And I felt guilt. We call it survivor's guilt, right? I started feeling guilty about things going well for me. And then I started hearing this person there talking about how things were going well for them. They were prosperous during this event, and they weren't taking advantage of people, but things were happening because they had a result that people wanted. They were able to solve people's pain, that they were going through. So they were benefiting financially from COVID. And again, that guilt started seeping in, and guilt oftentimes makes it so that we don't want to take any actions, right? We don't want to take those actions because what if I benefit from others? And so I myself started experiencing that, and then realized that, there are a lot of people that will unfortunately, but fortunately benefit from the tragedy. But this is true of any tragedy that happens in life, any tragedy. Whether it's a worldwide phenomena or it's something that's local to your own town or something that's just in your own small community that you have, there are people who will benefit. So why not us, right? And so when I say that, I'm going to lead to what I'm grateful for. Now we talk about, I am grateful for the sun, right? I'm grateful for the people. I'm grateful for every single one of you for being here today, for sharing your stories. I have so much gratitude for all the wonderful things that are going in my life. I am also, grateful for the things that the things that happen that are negative, because they will always seem to turn into some sort of positive in my life, later down the line. Sometimes it's not today, sometimes it's years down the line. But one thing that I think that we sometimes forget to be grateful for is ourselves. And I say that because as I'm here today, it's because of the steps that I've taken. It's because the actions that I've taken from the people that I've met in my life, from the circumstances that have happened in my life that get me to where I am today, doing what I am doing today. And I'm grateful to myself for saying, yes, Linda. Yes, you deserve this, Linda. Yes, you're raising your hand and you're moving into that place in your life. And it's because I'm taking the steps. We got to remember, this is my opinion, but we got to remember to be grateful to ourselves for allowing ourselves. Many of you, just like me, grew up in volatile environments, grew up in, in like alcoholic environments or, drug addicted environments that cause us to have so many fears about ourselves and our lives that we shut down. I was one of those who shut down for many, many years, decades to be exact, 51 years. So when I finally raised my hand and said, I'm here, I'm ready to go, I'm ready to face the world, I'm ready to put myself out there, I had to remind myself, I'm the one who made that decision. And Linda, and I talked to myself in the third person, I never did that before recently, but Linda, I am grateful to you for saying yes and raising your hand and saying, I'm here and I'm ready to make a positive impact on this planet. It took me saying yes to myself to do that. And so I am today standing here grateful to all of you. To me, that is a given. But to be grateful to myself for doing what I'm doing was the thing that was really hard for me to do. To have gratitude for others is easy, but to have gratitude for ourselves, it sometimes is a challenge. For me, it was a challenge. So I want to thank every single one of you for being here today. This event would not be possible if I myself did not raise my hand and say, I'm here, I'm ready to rock and roll, I'm ready to make that positive impact on the planet. So here we are today for that, and I'm grateful to every single one of you. We're going over on time like I always do, but it's okay because it's part of the show, you know. But I want to thank you for being here today. I see Brenda. We want to welcome you to the stage. Erica and Janine, if you want to come on the stage, please go ahead and join us here on the stage here. With that said, we didn't have an agenda today. So am I really off track? No, because there's no agenda. Yay. But what I want to do is I want to thank you for raising your hand. And so important for all of us, raise our hand and say, I am here, I matter, I count, I have value, and I'm here to share my value with the world, every single one of us. So every time you show up at this Women Action Takers event, that's what I want you to do, is to share your voice with the world, shout, loud and proud that I am here and I'm important and I do matter. Every single one of our voices does matter today. So with that said, we're gonna break it up a little bit. We're gonna have some comedy. I want you all to unmute yourselves and let's give a round of applause for our comedian for the day. She's gonna break it up a little bit. Rashana, I met her in a clubhouse room. She was on the stage, and Rashana, thank you so much for taking the stage. She took the stage and she said, I have friends that tell me I need to do comedy. She's already done comedy. And she's like, you know what? I think I'm ready to do it. And I said, will you speak at the Women Action Takers event? So with a disclaimer in front, I have not heard Rashana's comedian, her comedy show. And I did ask her, please make it clean. I don't know if she does clean or not. I had no idea. We're going into this 100% blind, but I trust that Rashana has, she's going to bring it. And so no pressure, Rashana, but welcome.
No pressure.
No pressure at all. I'm here to give as much pressure as possible. So let's see. Add spotlight. Awesome. Rashana, welcome to the stage. Women Action Takers. She's never attended. She doesn't even know what we're all about, ladies. But she showed up. She said, yes, I will do it. So welcome. Girl, the stage is yours.
Well, thank you very much, Linda. Again, I am not familiar, but I did meet Linda. She's such a beautiful soul. And I just want to take this time right now to just clap it up for Linda. This is very weird for me, guys. I'm just going to let you know, doing comedy on Zoom, it's like Zoom. Everything is Zoom, right? So again, my name is Rashana. It's a very long name, it has 9 letters, only 4 make sound. Thank you, Mom. So, like Linda said, she did ask me to keep it clean. I will say this, I am generally not a clean comic, full disclosure. If I had to have someone narrate my life, no offense, Morgan Freeman, but Samuel Jackson, yeah, that'd be his job. He'd have to kind of narrate that. My life deserves a few choice words every now and again, but we're going to keep this one clean, okay? We've been talking about COVID. I feel like I can't even do a comedy routine without acknowledging COVID, because it's existed in our lives for the last, going on 2 years now. We're heading into 2 years. But I'll tell you, COVID has really made me assess some things myself. One of the things I had to look at was like my weight. Like it was out of control. Like I remember when I went to college, it was, we talked about the freshman 15. This is like the COVID 30. I looked up and all of a sudden I get on the scale. I'm like, are you kidding me? I have a fourth grade. This is a fourth grader. I have to lose an entire fourth grader. This is insane. And it's always been, weight has always been an issue for me. When I grew up as a young child, I was always a little heavy, and so when I was younger, I used to cut myself a piece of cake to make me feel better. No, don't worry, guys. Cut myself a piece of cake to make me feel better, and that wasn't healthy. Sugar is more addictive than anything. I don't know if you guys know that. Like, sugar is one of the most addictive substances in the world. I mean, we're out here arguing about marijuana and we just got sugar on every shelf. Like, I mean, the brain cells come and go. Fat cells live forever. Right? So, I'm saying just a thought. COVID's had me, like I said, it's had me thinking about some things. It's had me thinking about my age. I just had a birthday, August 17th. And yeah, thank you. I can see you clap. I can't hear you, but I can see you. Thank you. I just had a birthday, August 17th, and I just turned 30. Is what I would like to tell you. Absolutely not. I just turned 43. Yeah. So thinking about age, right? And I'm getting older. I'm not old, but I'm getting older. And I had to realize that, like, there were certain things, there were signs that I was just kind of like, missing before COVID. And then I started getting, I'm like, how did I miss this? Like, basic things like waking up in the morning, my eyelids hurting, just, like a chorus of body parts, screaming at one time, no, not again. Not again. Just little things like when I sit down, I'm making all of these sounds, just sitting down. It's like, where are these sounds coming from? I can't stop them. I can't stop them, and there were signs before COVID hit that I was getting older, but I didn't want to acknowledge it. Like, the fact that I had stopped going to parties and was now going to functions. And there are differences, because functions, they start at dinner time and then they end right before bedtime. And parties are not like that. I had young friends still, and I thought I was still, and they, I had a friend call me and she's like, oh yeah, we're gonna go out. I'm like, okay, cool. You guys are gonna come get me. Yeah, we'll come pick you up. We'll be there about 11 p.m. at night. Like, my happy hour is nap time. Are you kidding me right now? Like, so there were signs that I was getting older, and I wasn't listening. So listen to your bodies, listen to yourselves. This is what I'm getting from giving all the information I can give you through learning things through COVID. So some of the other things I think I've learned through COVID, I've learned a lot of new things, like what 6 feet actually looks like, and how much of a challenge this is for, like, spatially unaware people, right? And I'm thinking, like, this is definitely something we should keep after this whole thing dies down. Like, I think 6 feet's appropriate. I really don't. I don't need to feel your breath in the back of my neck at any time. We're not that intimate. At least buy me dinner first before you're that close, right? I think this is something we should keep. Learning that, there are basic things that we should have been doing. Like, when we wash our hands, we should wash our hands for 20 seconds. But they have you singing happy birthday. Like, because happy birthday happens to be like this 20-second thing, right? And I'm like, I'm not singing happy birthday. First of all, happy birthday's always been a sad song. It sounds like a funeral procession. Like, think about it. You guys, it's a funeral procession. Imagine coming from another country, not ever having spoken English, you don't know what's going on, right? And you see, so this is what happens. You see the lights go off, and then someone proceeds out with a cake that has candles on it and it's burning, and you hear, I'd be scared for my life. So wrapping this back around to COVID, like I want to give you guys other songs you can sing. I've learned that there are other songs with like this 20-second chorus thing. There's Jolene by Dolly Parton. Okay, there's A Love on Top by Beyonce, and my personal favorite, Raspberry Beret by Prince. She wore a raspberry beret. I know you know it. The kind you buy. Okay, I won't. Yeah, there you go. Secondhand store. Everybody, raspberry beret. All right. So that's washing hands. It makes it, you want to do it, right? So other things I've learned that I can share with you, beautiful ladies. Sweatpants are just pants. At this point, I'm not even dressed from the bottom down. I don't know if I needed to share that, but I'll make sure I turn off the camera when I get up. But I mean, we're in a Zoom age, right? There are such thing as day pajamas and night pajamas. You get to learn that. I learned that. I don't know if any of you are in relationships, married partners. COVID has done a number on those, just in general. And I mean, maybe you didn't get divorced or break up, but you're learning things about your partner that you just might not have known. You know what I mean? Like you really are. Like, unfortunately, me and my fiance, we didn't do too well during this COVID thing because it was like you're locked in the house but I mean, you learn things. Like we used to get into arguments, like little arguments about, she say things like, "Oh, you never listened to me," or something like that. I really wasn't paying attention. But we get into these arguments, and she say things like, you always use everything that I say, turn it around, and then use it on me. And I'm like, okay, thank you. That's like a skill, isn't it? Like to be able, all right, well, maybe I was wrong about it. I don't know. But you start learning things about your partner. And for those of you who have children, I don't, congratulations. I want to say to you, lovely ladies who have school-age children during this time, God bless your cotton socks, because I could not imagine having a child during this time. It's got to be like having the most insane parrot on your shoulder all the time. Like, mommy, 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 can I? I couldn't. So God bless you for that. And I'm not going to keep you long. I just want to say thank you again for the opportunity. And I want to say to you, for those of you whose mom said that you could never accomplish anything by laying in your bed all day, Mom, look at us now.
Oh my God. Oh, that was great. But let me take us off of the immersive view. That'd be fun. Oh, wait. What does it say here? Okay, there we go. Oh my God. You can unmute yourself and applaud. That was great. Oh my gosh.
That was absolutely hilarious.
Love that.
That was great.
You're funny.
Gosh, I was dying
You
here.
remind me of me.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys.
Well, Rebecca wants to hear your non-clean version. That was great, Rashana. You did not disappoint. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. I had the tears coming down. Yes, definitely. If you guys want to, connect with Rashana, if you want to have her come in and speak to your group, I don't know the details, but just reach out to her. Everybody, first of all, everybody, don't forget to put your contact information in the chat, because I forgot to remind you. So go ahead and put your contact information in the chat. And that was so good. We need laughter. We need laughter. It's so important. So important to break up. We actually have one of the women in one of my groups, she teaches people how to laugh, but sometimes all it takes is like listening to somebody like Rashana, raspberry beret. Da, 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 ba, da, 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 da. Like I only know 2 words of the whole song, right? It's okay. It doesn't matter. It's about singing that song. I saw Sally. She's gonna be singing. She wants Raspberry Beret sung at her birthday party next time. So that was great. Would anybody like to make a comment about Rashana's talk? I would love to get any feed forward for her. Like, what did you think? Let's go. I want to get some of this information for her. Go, Janet.
Okay, so I thought I love her personality, love her energy, love her face, love the dimples. I think her delivery is great. I think that her jokes are spot on. They're very relatable, connect with people very easily because we were all laughing like, oh my gosh, we know this and we know this and we've done that and we got that. So I think it was great. And to do it on Zoom and maybe see like our faces only on the side and not be able to actually react and really engage with the audience. She still did an amazing job. So yay, I wish you the best success, and you've already got the energy, you've already got the confidence. So I think you need to do some TikToking, and I think you need to get some gigs on the outside and do your thing. Yay.
Thank you.
Awesome. Janet is our Paula Abdul. So do we have a Simon Cowell in the audience? Just kidding. Would anybody else like to? Rebecca, I'm going to call you because I know that you had a lot of comments in the chat there. So I'm going to put you on the spot. Like, go ahead and share with us. What did you think about Rashana?
Myself, honey, you're funny. You're really, really funny. I was laughing, and yes, I would like the unclean version. But hey, I got it. But I was adding the words myself. I was adding the 4-letter words. Yeah, great material. I love the, and you're right. Start laughing at COVID, start laughing at mass, all of it. Seriously, humor is so important with everything in life, even the most tragic, even the times when we're not feeling good. Can you find something funny about losing your wallet? So the humor is really important with everything. And thank you so much. Contact me. I put my number, text only. Yes. Thank you. Love it. Love it.
Thank you. Awesome. Thank you so much, Rebecca. Does anybody else? I'll take one more person. If anybody else wants to comment, Pamela. Okay, hold on. Let me showcase you here. Hold on a second. Pamela, what'd you think?
Rashana, I loved it. And I do a lot of improv with Toastmasters and stuff. So when you can get people to laugh like that about things that they can all relate to, it's so cool. And I love the stuff about getting older because I definitely can relate to that. And that little one comment you said is that the brain cells die, but fat cells live forever. Things like that are really memorable for people. The more you can do that, the better. And 3s are always a good idea. But just taking something so regular and normal like aging or sugar is so relatable that you made it extremely funny, and my jaws are sore. So thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Pamela, Rebecca, Janet, for that. I'm going to ask you ladies if you're open to me giving those testimonials to Rashana for her to use if she wants to. If you are open to that, then let's do that, because those are great testimonials, and anything we can do to help support and uplift other people and to move them into that next level for themselves, we're all for that. So I saw a thumbs up, and Pamela, do I got a thumbs up from you? I knew you would. So I wouldn't have called on her. By the way, I would not have called on Pamela if I didn't know her, but I know her really well. So I knew she'd say yes. So thank you, Rashana. That was fantastic. I want to hear from you, Rashana. What'd you think? I mean, you're doing this Zoom, doing comedy Zoom, not being able to, hear people's laughter and all that stuff. What was that like?
It was different. It was very, very different. I'm one of these people. I'm a comic. I do it. And I do anything, comedy, theater, acting, because I love it, because it is my connection to people. I feed off of energy, and the more energy that I give, the more energy is given back, and it just becomes this transferable thing. And so doing this on Zoom, honestly kind of proves that energy might possibly be transferable and transpose space and time, because it really, at first it took a second for me to get used to, but once, looking at the faces, looking, at people laughing, connecting with one face, at a time, you can feel some of that energy coming through the screen. So it was interesting. It was different, first time for everything, but I had a great time, and it felt good again to be able to just share laughter, because that's a big thing for me. Laughter, I feel like, is a medicine, and it heals the soul. And that's my way of giving back to the world, the universe, people around me.
Fantastic. I loved hearing that, because that is true. I talk about energy, all the time, because we are energy. Everything on this planet, has energy to it. And one thing that I did is by doing Facebook Live videos, you don't have that interaction, right? So for me, myself, I had to learn how to tap into my own energy and then to keep it going. And so that's cool that you were able to recognize that, to know that you don't have to be on stage in order to be an amazing comedian. You did great. I loved it. And, that's like, I'm so excited that, we were your virgin cherry breaker, right here, on this Women Action Takers event, because we're all about taking action. So thank you so much. Jennifer, you got to follow that girl. So I want to next welcome to the stage. We got Jennifer Horsefall. She's a PR expert and global brand strategist. And today, she's going to use her 3 decades of building and protecting brands from startups to Fortune 500. She's going to use that knowledge and experience that she has to give us some amazing knowledge today, experience. Make sure you break out your notepads and get ready to take some notes, because Jennifer is about to drop it right now. Drop it like it's hot, girl. I want to hear you sing Raspberry Beret. Do you know the words?
I don't know that we ever really want to hear me sing with amplification. Like, I'm all game for singing, but Rashana, I am not. And you were absolutely spectacular. And so I'm honored to follow you, because that makes me up my game, right? I am not a comedian, but I do love comedy in every single way that it comes about. And it's kind of part of media, is if it's being interesting. And I'm gonna get into that, but that's what comedy does. And it's kind of the same spin that you have to take from a comedic perspective to be able to get into the media. And so I'm going to talk about all those things. All right. All right. So I am not doing a PowerPoint, because as zoomed out as we are absolutely PowerPointed out, right? So what I really want to do is have a conversation with you guys. And I'm going to start with this. You are women action takers. And it's women action takers who have changed society for women over century after century, decade after decade. If you think about it, we as women have only been voting for a very short amount of time. And all of those things happen. And the reason that we are able to gather as women today, as women business owners or women authors or women who are making an impact in this world, is because of other women action takers prior. And so when you are trying to create change, I'm going to take the word trying out. Somebody said earlier, and I can't remember who it was, I'm working on thinking that way. Take those qualifying words out, trying, working on, and just say, I'm thinking that way more and more every day. I'm doing this. Because life is an improvement, right? A constant improvement. So take those qualifying words out and take the word trying. I'm trying to do this. I'm doing this. I'm doing it more and more every day. Rashana talked about losing weight, right? We all got the COVID-19. It did turn into the COVID-29. And then holy mackerel, some of us hit the COVID-39 and 49, and it's awful. And it is sugar. And Rashana hit it perfectly, But what are we going to do with all of that? So you all are women action takers and you all have messages, because if you're going to create change, whether your change is losing weight or your change is creating happiness in people's lives, or your change is like Rachel in the very beginning. I don't see her right now, but I was going to use her as an example. But when you're creating change, when you're making an effort to create change into everything every day, hi Rachel, we're gonna do some business together. You have to get a message out, right? You have to start telling people and attracting your audience to you, the people that want to hear and need to hear what you have to say. And so media is one of those ways. And media itself is a really vague word, right? Especially in today's world where we're creating our own media, right? So we're not only creating our own media as far as videos go, or our own memes, which is a media, or our own podcasts or blogs, or written content, or our own emails, our own whatever it is. All of those things are media. And what they're really trying to do, though, is share a message from one to many. And that's what makes it media. Okay. So when we have these important messages and then we see that other people have platforms, back in the day, there used to only be other people's platforms and then advertising. And now in today's world, and the way the world has shifted over the past 15 years plus, really going into 20 years, but it's a good solid 15 when social media came about. And we now have 4 different types of reaching out to people or people finding us. And that's earned media, which is traditional media, ABC, NBC, Wall Street Journal, blogs, podcasts, like all those kinds of things, right? So that is earned media. And it's called earned media because you have to earn your way onto their stage by being interesting. And I'm going to go over an acronym in just a little bit about that. But that's earned media. Then we have owned media. This is what has come about in the past 15 years that we never had before. It started with websites, right? Back in the day, we had websites. Before that, we had brochures, and you had printed brochures and you had to get those out. You had to mail them. You had to hand them. You went to trade shows and you gave them out. Then we had websites and people could actually find you online. And now your website, it can be interactive. It can also be a little bit more of an online brochure, depending on how you use it, right? It's yours to use. But your owned media is all of the media that you own. It is your Facebook page. It doesn't matter if it's your personal Facebook page, your business Facebook page, your public figure Facebook page, or your LinkedIn, or your Instagram, or your TikTok, or your blog, or you produce a magazine, or you have a podcast. All of those are owned media because you, as the brand, the business owner, you own those media, and you can say and do kind of whatever you want, right? I mean, within the realm of you can on your own website say anything that you want. No one is going to make you take it down. But if you're playing on other people's platforms, you always have to play by their rules. And then we have search media, right? Search media is how people find you. That's your SEO. That's your Google My Business. That's all those things, right? They have to be able to find you. And then there's paid, and that's advertising. And so all of these things kind of work together, but they basically all require the same amount of stop the scroll. And so I'm going to show you how to get into other people's media, earned media, at the same time as I'm going to show you how to really do your own owned media, which then contributes to your search media because you're everywhere and you start becoming some of those spider webs that are the web. And that's the traffic back and forth from your stuff to other people's stuff on a constant flow. Okay. And then paid media is just another one of those same things, right? Paid media, you can say what you want within the realm of paying attention to other people's rules on their platforms, right? So we always have to pay attention to other people's rules. So I'm going to go through an acronym called MEDIA. That's how we're going to talk about media. And I'm going to invite everyone right now to, if you would like 10 tips on how to get in the media, text right now from your cell phone, PR, like public relations, to 26786. And I'll put it here in the chat. 26786.
I got you covered, Jennifer.
All
I
right.
got
Thanks,
you
love.
covered.
Yeah. So text PR and I'm going to send that to you. Excuse me. It's not quite set up right. So I'm going to have to send it as a separate link later, but text that in and I will get that over to you. And so, okay, let's go over the acronym media. This is how you get in the media. The M is messaging. All of you are action takers. You all have important messages that other people need to hear. Your message is your magic, and your magic is your magnet that attracts people to you, right? So what your message is one of the most important parts of your entire business. It is the most important part of your entire business, because if you don't have your messaging right, you can't stop the scroll and no one's paying attention. And you're over there on your soapbox, like one of those cuckoo people on the corner, you know, that are shouting out and no one's listening. To have a message and have no one listen is not communication. One of my favorite sayings about communication is, what is it? The falsity of communication is thinking that it ever happened, right? Like if we always think, well, I said it, but just because you said something doesn't mean that the other person heard it. And just because the other person heard it doesn't mean that they heard it in the manner that they needed to understand your point or to take the action that you want them to take.
Jennifer.
So, yes.
Okay, before you go on, we do have some international people here. And so that text number, it doesn't seem to be working for non-US.
Then send me a message to info@engagementpr.com and I will send you the 10 tips. info@engagementpr.com. Yeah, make sure that it doesn't autocorrect to OR. It does it all the time. It's PR, like public relations. So I notice I don't get emails sometimes, so just pay attention to that. Yeah, okay, so media, so your message. So make sure you have really important messages, and don't just have one message, just have a whole variety, right? Like you have to be really, really interesting. We're gonna get down to that. So the E is excitement. You have to deliver your message in a really exciting manner. That could be good excitement, bad excitement, something, but it has to have that feeling and that passion behind it for other people to get excited about your message too. And when you're excited, people understand then what the value is in that message. And then the D is to distinguish yourself. So you have to distinguish yourself from everybody else that's out there that's saying either the same thing or something similar, or it's the same topic. Like if you're in the business of losing weight, you can't just say, well, eat less and exercise more, because who's going to listen to you? That's really, really, really boring, right? And everybody gets stuck in the how. So tell them how, right? Make sure that you tell them how. Be a part of that how if you want to, and that's what it is. But don't get confused with how versus who, right? So your who absolutely matters, and you're going to distinguish yourself for that who. For who wants to listen to the way you want to do things, right? If you're full vegan, people who are interested or might be on that migration moving forward are listening at different realms within that circle. You want to speak to your core target. And the I is interesting. You distinguish yourself by being interesting. And interesting is what stops that scroll, right? So the I is interesting. So we have message, excitement, distinguish yourself, and be interesting. You can't say the same thing that other people are saying and expect to be interesting. You have to say something either new or something in a new way, right? You're going to say something that other people are saying, or maybe you've been saying it for a long time, but say it in a new way. catch their attention, make their head snap, right? You're trying to stop the scroll. It doesn't matter if it's for an ad. It doesn't matter if it's your organic post. It doesn't matter if it's your video. It doesn't matter if it's your media pitch. You have to stop the scroll. Everybody is busy and our brains are just impacted with so much. We're getting inundated with messages. And so you have to be the one with that. The A in media is audience, so that your audience is interested enough and you've distinguished yourself as being credible for that audience to listen to how interesting you are. And then they hear how excited you are about it. And then they buy into your message. So do you see how all of these things play in together? Okay, so it doesn't matter what the media is that you're trying to do or you're doing, whether you're creating a video, you're writing a blog, you're writing your own article, you're writing an ad, you're, working for SEO, trying to get your SEO up. It doesn't matter what you're doing or if you're trying to get in the actual media, you have to do those things. You have to have a strong message. You have to be exciting. You have to distinguish yourself. What is your credibility? Why should they listen to you? You need to be interesting, and you always have to think of the audience. And the audience, we all think about who's our core target audience, right? Those are the people that you are speaking to as a nucleus at all times. Those are your people. The rest of the people, like a target, are listening in at various degrees to what you have to say. The ones way out here, you are never trying to talk to. You cannot talk to everybody all at once. You can only talk to one niche market at a time. Otherwise, it's too generic and they scroll right past it. But when you're on somebody else's platform, like Linda has invited me onto her platform right now, Linda is my earned media opportunity, right? So here I am and I'm speaking to you. Exactly. So I need to keep in mind all of you and what is important to each one of you about what I'm saying. Right. So anytime you're on, and when you're on a bigger and bigger and bigger audience, you have to think from a more global perspective. How do I make this relevant and stop the scroll worthy enough that people want to stop and tune in for a long enough amount of time? It doesn't have to be for the whole entire time. You need them to hear what they need to hear, right? So you want to say things that are interesting to people. News is the plural of what's new for today. It's not olds. It's not same old, same old. It is the news. This is new, that is new, that is new, this is new. Together, it is collectively the news. And news comes out in all kinds of ways, on television, on radio, on podcasts, in magazines, in newspapers, on blogs, in online, whatever people want to call their different things, right? It doesn't really matter. So to get in there, you want to first do a search and find out who's talking about your topics, right? Do a Google search. You don't have to have big fancy PR software and everything to find out who is already talking about topics that you are an expert in, that you can add commentary to, that you can provide a different perspective, or maybe even the same perspective, but with more information that is enlightening. The E can also be enlightening. It's exciting, enlightening. You want to create engagement. And the more you can do this for other media on their own platform, the more they see you as a resource. So if you find those core reporters, let's just call them right now, whether it's a reporter or it's a news channel or whatever, and you're seeing that they're covering your topics anytime, 1 at a time, 10 at a time, share those to your media, right? To your owned media channels. Do it on the globe so they see you, that you are sharing their stuff. Add your own commentary. If you're going to be controversial against what the article says, do it on their thing first and invite friendly conversation. Don't be attacking. Don't use swear words. You're trying to build relationships with these media who talk about your kinds of stuff. And if they already have an audience, that's your audience that you can sell to, you want to become a friend. To get a friend, you have to be a friend. To be a friend in the media, you want to share their articles. They care about eyeballs. They're trying to sell advertising. Always think about everything from what's in it for them perspective. So when you're on the audience, when you're on the their social media, their media platforms, they have to sell advertising. So think in those terms. And so they need more eyeballs. They need more ears, right? They need more listeners and viewers and people engaged. So if you engage for them, they start to know who their friends are, right? You should follow your favorite media on Twitter. Follow all the ones who are saying things or talking about your kinds of topics, or maybe they're the controversial ones and you don't like what they say, follow them too, because then you can always be rebutting it. You can still share their stuff and say, I respect that this person writes about this topic on an occasional basis or on a regular basis, but I disagree for these reasons. And you might get into a debate, could be good, could be bad. Controversy is one of the things that media loves. Why? Because we all love a good train wreck, right? We all stop, that stops the scroll. All we're trying to do always is stop the scroll and get people to pay attention to us and our message, our excitement for that message, because we're interesting. So when you are considering media, there's another acronym that I'm going to do, and we're going to talk about it first. So media, we use this word edutainment, right? Has anybody heard of that word, edutainment? Yeah. Oprah Winfrey, actually, I believe, made it up back in the 80s when she's like, well, basically what we do is we educate people and we entertain them, and, it's edutainment. But it's also interesting and it's informative. So those four things: education, information, entertainment, and inspiration. So it is like Farmer in the Dell says, EI, EI, and then your audience goes, oh, that's for me. So Farmer in the Dell tells you EI-E-I-O. That's about all the singing I'm going to do for you, Linda. Sorry. but the Farmer in the Dell says EI-E-I-O. So you go education, inspiration, entertainment, information. So EI, your audience goes, that's for me. So now they know, and that helps them stop the scroll. So I said about Rochelle, I was going to do her business. So she wants people to know that she has this really powerful program to help people so they don't find themselves in that financial situation where they don't know anything about their own money. They don't have any more money coming in. So she wants to reach them. Now, some of the people that Rachel is going to reach might already be in that situation. So Rachel, you might want to consider as one of your media funeral home newsletters. Get creative in where you want to put your media outreach. You're reaching a very specific audience with a very specific message, right? So the message that you're going to for a funeral home newsletter would be around, you're coming from a service perspective, not an advertising perspective, right? What you're going to say is, how would you be open to me writing 2-3 paragraphs into your newsletter a couple times a year, where I'm helping the people that you serve transition the ones who are still alive, their lifetime back into finance, a financial situation. So you're not advertising like, hey, work with me, Rachel, you're having a hard time in life right now, and I can help you out. Like that's not it. You're writing educational, informational, inspirational things that attract them to you like metal to a magnet. So bye, Janara. Thank you. So that way you want to get a little bit creative, and that message is for people who are grieving. Now you can take your same message and go out to financial reporters, or people who are doing financial podcasts, or people who are doing female related podcasts, especially a podcast maybe, or a news channel, or a blog, or a magazine that's reaching the little bit of the elderly, right? Like we want to go into the 60s and the 70s and the 80s. Like, where are those people? What are they reading? What are they watching? What are they listening to? How can you get on to things where they are, where they're going, and then add in your own edutainment, add in your own perspective, and be of service, right? So you're starting to tell your story of the ways that you can help people by sharing real stories of the ways that you've helped people, like, so you can use real life stories, but don't use first and last name unless you have, full approval, written approval from people. But you can tell the story of somebody's name who's changed, tell their real story, show how you help them, and show how you can help other people. You can also give tidbits of information all the time. And then to really start understanding how media write and think, their headlines and their angles. Everybody always talks about angles, right? What the heck is an angle? Well, an angle is, how do you make your news new every day? So go to Harrow. Has anybody ever heard of Harrow? Help a Reporter Out. Yeah, the owner of this started this years ago, and it's absolutely brilliant. It's taken off and made him a multimillionaire, and it's really spectacular. And you guys should all belong to Harrow. So you sign up at helpareporterout.com. You get emails, just get the one comprehensive one, or you can do whatever your topic is. You don't need the comprehensive, but you can put in there which ones you want to receive, and they'll give it to you. And you can put it if you want to receive it once, twice, or 3 times a day, or something like that. And then go in there and read. You don't have to spend a lot of time on it, but here's how you get successful with Harrow. It's who says the most interesting things first. That is really how you succeed in Harrow, because the reporters that put those things out may get inundated with information from everyone. And what do? Do we start at the bottom? No, you start at the top, right? You know what I mean? Like, who came in first? And then, okay, this one's kind of interesting. This one works for sure, and then once they're full, they're full. They don't go through the 250 that are down at the bottom. It doesn't matter if you respond late, but you're within the timeline. Like the deadline is a deadline of when their deadline is, right? So you want to just kind of get in there and, answer the things that are relevant to you. How can you put your own expertise? And the thing is, all of these things become credibility builders of why should anyone listen to you? And then pretty soon they're seeing Pamela Gorf's name everywhere. Gorf. Yeah. And then they're seeing Rebecca Norrington everywhere, having to do with the areas of your expertise. And it's not that media necessarily equals sales tit for tat. It's that it equals credibility, and it equals name recognition. And, who do you think charges more, Tony Robbins or Mary Jo Smith, the coach? Do you know what I mean? Like Tony Robbins, because his name is out there all the time and everyone knows it. That is the only reason people pay him more. Right? So it's a building block. You're not going to get on Good Morning America until you've proven that you know how to behave in front of the camera from your local cable station, from your local podcast that has video, from your whatever it is, all these different things, right? You have to show that you know how to behave before they put you on, because they only have so much space. And the people that do the booking have to be really protective over who gets on their stage, because the last thing in the world they can have is somebody that gets on and the cameras turn on and they go.
I've seen that on the news before.
Right? And what are they doing behind the scenes? Oh God. And you see the anchors try to pull it out of them, and they're working, and somebody can't get past, their mind is blank. All they see is the red light went on and they're, oh my God, I'm on TV. And so it takes a while, and you want to fail in front of smaller audiences, not big audiences, right? So give yourself the time. You're working up the ladder. I am going to host a class on, how to get in the media and do this. If you're interested, send me an email to info@engagementpr.com. And we can talk about, what the dates are that are going to work. Some people want to learn how to do it themselves and other people want to pay. So we'll have a little bit of both. And I'm really about service and helping people out. I've been doing this for 30 years and, it's always changing, but I thank you so much, Linda.
Oh my God. Thank you so much, Jennifer. This was great, ladies, right? We got all kinds of great comments in there. You gave a ton of education, information, entertainment, EIO. I loved it. And then I loved how you did, the media, message, excitement, distinguished, interesting audience, but then we go backwards. Like we have to go backwards through that. So I thought that was brilliant. What I want to do is the meeting does officially end right now. So I just want to let you ladies know that, can you stick around for like 15 minutes, Jennifer?
Absolutely.
Okay, fantastic. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move into like a Q&A portion, but I'm going to have just like a little quick commercial break before we go into that. Many of you know, and some of you might not know that, there are books, Invisible No More, Invincible Forevermore. Pamela's got hers up there as well. And The Fearless Entrepreneurs. Both of these books became #1 bestsellers and international bestsellers 8 days apart. So if you want to share your story in one of the upcoming Women Action Takers, I have a lot of who this, who that, who this, a whole bunch of those coming up. If you want to take part in that, please go ahead and I will drop the info in the chat here, but I have a phone number you can text something to or email me. So I'll drop my contact info in there. We have a lot of books coming up, at least 40. Jennifer, I need to talk to you about that and talk about how we can position ourselves as the expert in the area, right? So that people see us as the Tony Robbins. There can be more than one Tony Robbins out there. So let's do it. But anyway, if you're interested in that, I'll drop that information in the chat here. Please reach out to me and let's see which one or many of the books that you can take part in. So with that said, Jennifer, this was fantastic. And I saw somebody had their hand up. Pamela, was it you? Yeah, Pamela, go ahead. I'm going to bring you up here. We're going to the Q&A. We're just going to go right on into it. If you need to leave, totally understand. Go ahead, and just leave quietly, as Facebook says. So Pamela, you're up. Go ahead and ask your question.
Jennifer, I was curious, for those of us who are kind of do-it-yourselfers right now, I'm asking about certain sites that you might be on that you're contributing, like Medium. I'm the lesbian love expert on one called datingadvice.com, and I've been asked to be on one called Brains. What are the pros and also the cons? I mean, really, of being on some of these, like how careful do you need to be to make sure it's the right ones? And would you encourage us to get out there and be a voice on these different types of media?
Thank you for asking that. And I 100% encourage you to be writing for all of those sites. The only con would be is if you're disaligned and you're spending time, you're disaligned with the mission of the medium where you are, you know what I mean? Like if you're speaking to your enemies, you know what I mean? Like people that are not, why are you on there? You know what I mean? Like, don't waste your time. Make sure you're using your time well. But all of those like Medium and Thrive and all those sites that allow you to contribute either for free or sometimes they pay you, or sometimes you're doing a pitch and they get a freelance writer who comes and writes your story. I mean, there's all different kinds of ways to do it. You definitely want to be on there because all of those, and then when they send you the article, like if you've been either like if a freelance writer has written about you or someone has covered you or you've written your own, okay, then share their stuff to your owned media. Put it on your website, then link from your website to your social media because you want the chain to come through your website, right? So you're going to go from your LinkedIn or your Facebook or your Instagram or your whatever it is where you put it, and you want it to come to your website first. You're going to have a bigger blog, like a blurb there, and then you're going to say, read the rest of the article, and then you're going to link it to their site. So everything gets a hit. And that's the important part of the chain of the web, right? Because they look at you as a partner when you bring more eyeballs to them. also just having those backlinks, those links everywhere matters to your SEO and theirs. And you'll see a lot of those articles now where they interview like 5, 7, sometimes 15, sometimes 72 people, you know, and you're included in the whole big, you know, and you're number 69 out of 72. That's okay. You can put a bookmark in there and then you can link for your stuff. Just I'm number 69, scroll down in there, you know, or you can click the link. It can take people directly there to your spot. And then on your own media, not on theirs, right? On your own media. And then you can say, read the rest of the article and take them to their site. So you want to be doing all those things. Now, where the ROI comes in is, what are you writing about that's driving business to your business? Or what are you writing about that is building your credibility so that people want to come to your website and check out more about you? How can I learn more about you? What else does Pamela do? I need to kind of know about her. She might be able to help me, right? Business is problem solving. That's all business is. So anytime you're feeling fearful over should I or shouldn't I, or, you know, maybe I'm not good enough to start this, all you have to think is, can I help somebody? Who can I help? And remember, I talked about the who can I help? That's who, you know, don't get caught up in demographics and my, you know, your avatar, and people are like, well, I don't know, should her name be Sally or Ava? No one cares. That is not the important part of your avatar. The important part of your avatar is what's going to make that person stop the scroll. What's going to make that person, you know, come to your website? What's going to make that person hire you? And so everybody has these little nuances. So think in terms of psychographics, but don't even worry about words like that either, because then you got to Google that. What the heck does that mean, right? What is their frame of mind? What are they going through? Who are they? How do they identify with you? And then how do they know that you're the one that can solve their problems?
Excellent. Great stuff. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Awesome. I loved it. Great question. Great response. Of course. Does anybody else have any questions? Rachel, come on up.
Thank you so much for the information. Oh, I really appreciate it. And I already sent you a text about your class.
Awesome.
But the question I have is about the app, the web address for the help a reporter. Is it help a reporter out?
It's
helpareporterout.com.
It's actually helpareporter.com. There is no out. I had to
Oh,
look
is
that
there
up.
no out? It's
no. I don't know why they do that.
Well, he
Yeah.
changed it.
Okay.
Helpareporter.com. Harrow has always been his thing. And so it was
Okay, helpareporter.com. Okay.
Yeah. You can just Google help a reporter out and don't worry about the .com. Probably you'll find him,
Okay,
you know, or help a
okay,
reporter.
help a
But
reporter.
yeah,
Okay.
it's a daily email. And you actually can put in, especially if you do your own blog or you do anything else, or you want to do market research, it's a really great way to do market research. And it's not that expensive. So you can participate in Harrow quite a few ways. So really, really use it as a resource for you.
Okay. Thank you.
Awesome.
You're welcome.
Thanks for
Yeah,
that.
you have a great mission. I love what you're doing, Rachel.
Thank you.
Yeah, keep doing that. Like reach out, because there is a lot of people that, you know, even like my friend's mom, you know, she's pushing 80, you know, and her husband just died. And she's like, I never did any of the finances. She
There
doesn't
you
know how
go.
to do any of it, you know, and that's your target. I mean, that's one of your targets, right?
Mhm.
That's the other thing I think people get confused about when they're looking at their niche market is, you know, they're everybody, right? Like I hear that all the time. Like one of my friends wrote a book on happiness, and she's like, everybody wants more happiness. And I'm like, no, not everybody's willing to pay for more happiness. And some people love their misery, and everybody's not. It's who is going to stop the scroll. What are they going through right now? And that's the whole thing. And you can have numerous target audiences. You just can only speak to one of them at a time, because you start trying to talk to
Okay,
everyone
yeah.
and no one's listening. Like your message gets diluted. And then no one knows to stop the scroll because they're like, I've already heard that before. That's boring, or it's not for me, right? You know, think of like everybody knows, heard of the white Mustang syndrome, or people use all different kinds of things. I don't know why I say white Mustang. I never owned one, but it's from my college days. They called it the white Mustang syndrome. And it's like basically like you never knew how many white Mustang cars there were out on the road until you went to go buy one. And then suddenly they're everywhere. You know, it's the same kind of thing. Like your brain has to block out all that other stuff and only allow in what it can handle at the time. Otherwise, it's inundated and it doesn't know where to focus, right? So to focus, it's only what is it going to penetrate right now. So how can you penetrate the people that need you? How can you penetrate their woe is me, you know, barriers, right? Because there's barriers to messaging. That's why messaging is so important to really get right. And that's why I say it's your magic. Because when your messaging is magic, it's a magnet. And when it's not, it's not.
I got it.
Awesome. Thank you. That was great. And Harrow, I've used it many times. I haven't been published yet, but you got to keep after it. You know, that's the thing is it's a free platform opportunity for you to get in front of, you know, different audiences. You know, there are magazines from all over the world and or different like podcasts and different people that are looking for guests. And so it's really awesome. But Jennifer, I liked your perspective, like flipping it and saying, instead of being a guest, like, for example, you know, I have a podcast, maybe I'm looking for specific guests, go out to Harrow and put it out there. So what does this do? First of all, this could get me more subscribers that people go to subscribe to my podcast, right? So looking at it from that perspective, that we're building authority by being the person who's looking for people. So if you have any platform that you're looking for people, go check out that Harrow. Again, it's helpareporter.com. Go check it out and see how you can get yourself up. You know, how do we elevate ourselves? We got to get out there, you know. So
yeah.
that,
And to find podcasts, just go to, you know, whatever podcast channel you choose at a time and do a search on your topics, you know, and see who's covering topics that, you know, or audiences that you like to speak to, you know what I mean? Like there's different ways to search it out and just start searching out some podcasts and find your own and then do a pitch, you know, I mean, and your pitch is super important. It's your message. And so you go through the media, right, for your message when you're doing it, but think in short terms. Busy people, right? Busy people are trying to get to a delete. How quickly? As quickly as possible. So you have to stop the scroll, right? And the scroll happens in your email too, right? We're all going through. If you think from a media's perspective, especially big media, like they get hundreds of pitches a day. What is your first line? If your first line is, hi, how are you? Hope you're really enjoying the done, delete. Like they don't care. Hi, how are you? I hope you're doing really well, but you wasted my time. They never got to your fantastic pitch that was 3 paragraphs down. They never, ever saw it. Put it in the first line. That's what your hook is.
A great point there is because oftentimes we let politeness actually helps us sometimes to lose the position because we're so worried about, we want to check in with their day and their dog and all these things, which is nice, but it doesn't have its place in this outlet. So really knowing that is really, you know, for me, like, you know, what we had here at this event a month ago, we had the founder of Priceline.com, a billionaire. When I reached out to him, I got straight to the point. I'm holding an event. I'd love to have you speak. This is the date. Are you available? Literally, that was my email to him. And he's, okay, I'm short to the point. Okay, cool. This is a person I can, you know, talk to, right? So it's like knowing your audience, who you're reaching out to and what kind of languaging they use. That's, she mentioned like the psychographics. This is really important information in order to move you forward. What I want to do, Jennifer, because I know that, you know, I asked for 15 extra minutes, but I want you to talk to us about the what is it, a course, a workshop? What was it you said it was? I want you to tell us about that.
So I'm putting together a way to help more people, right? So at a budget that everybody can work with. And so because I've become a speaker, which is fun and fantastic. It's changing the direction of my traditional business. I've run like a traditional PR agency, and now I've met so many really great solopreneurs and people that are authors, and authors are low-hanging fruit for media, FYI. You know what I mean? Like, they love to talk about your book. They want to talk about your book. It's a way of making an impact with people. So think of it as a door opener, and it's one of your better marketing materials. That is exactly what your book is. So in the course that we're going to go through, it's setting yourself up for media. It's getting your messaging down. It's creating your media kit. It's showing you how to do strong media pitches that are going to capture attention, how you're going to stop the scroll. We're going to go over all of those things, right? So that you'll leave this weekend a completely set up person to go and do your own media, or to hire somebody to do your media for you. And they'll already have fodder, because one of the things that takes up a lot of time and money for a PR agency is to be, doing the research, right? And doing the ideas that come up with, what are your headlines, like, right? What are your shocker headlines? You're trying to stop the scroll. What are your clickbaits? Everything today is clickbait, whether you want it to be or not. Like, we used to go, oh, that's just clickbait, right? Well, everything is clickbait because we're trying to stop the scroll. So you have to create your own level of clickbait so that people click on your story, or click on your ad, or click on your organic post, and so that they engage with you. And then they go, oh, I want to follow her. I want to know more from her, whatever it is. Even in the email, you're trying to stop the scroll, get them to open that email and read it. That is an opener headline. That's the hook. That's the same thing. So that's kind of, I'm just putting it all together. If you have requests that that you want in the course, by all means, send me your ideas. Send me your questions, like, I'm opening up dialogue. Like, I want to help people because I love being helped. I am a service person at my entire core. I am an empath. I am an overgiver, working on, what I mean? Fixing those flaws that are inside of me, and the internal saboteur. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of Dr. Philip Agrios, but he does an incredible course that really helped me on the internal saboteur, and where I really started claiming that, I am an overgiver. but I'm also a receiver, and finding that balance and allowing that balance into my life is things that I am constantly working on. And so I will make this, fair for everyone, and something that people walk away with really valuable stuff. I listen to people who've taken other courses and where they fell short and the value that they got. And so I just kind of want to put it all together and create something, and it's going to be an ever growing. We'll create a community. So I'll have a Facebook community, and everybody can ask any questions at any time. And I want to empower you to be your own PR pro, as well as join the group. You know what I mean? However you want to do it. Get more messages out, save the world, right?
I love that. I love that. So go to email her info@engagementpr.com. And then if you're in the US, you can text 26786, the word, it's not really a word, but the letters P and R for PR. P and R for PR. Yeah. So it's been great having you. I appreciate everything you've done. You're sharing your time, your talents, your experience, your education info, your entertainment, and the interesting. So thank you. And I still want to hear you sing Raspberry Beret.
She wore a raspberry beret.
There we go.
Kind
Awesome.
you find in a secondhand store. This is why we don't amplify this.
I love it. Well, thank you so much. Thanks everybody for being here today. I'm going to go ahead and end the meeting because I need to eat something really quick before we head on over to Clubhouse. And again, make sure you go, info@engagementpr.com, or text the letters PR to 26786 if you want to get involved in that. I saw Brenda says she wants the course. So Brenda, you got that email address. Make sure you go ahead and send her a message. And I want to point something out there really quick here, because we're all business owners. We are all trying to get our message out there in some way, shape, or form. And one thing I love that Jennifer did here is, she came here with, I don't really have it all together. I'm building it out. If you guys have things that you want me to put in there, please let me know. She said, I don't have my 26786 PR texting ready. You're going to get a message and I'm going to send it out to you when I'm ready. My point here is we do not always have to be perfectly ready for everything in order to launch. She launched. She's like, you know what? I've got something to share with these ladies. I'm going to invite them and see what happens. We so often get stuck in the perfection. Let me ask you, Jennifer, do you have a website for that particular program?
No, for the program, I do not yet, but I will. Mhm.
She has no website, but she made an offering. Don't let not having a website stop you from moving. Don't let not having a text number stop you from moving. Do you have an email address? Then you have a way to connect with people. Just have people email you. You don't have to get stuck in the weeds of it all. Just because all those gurus have all this together, guess what? They started at day one with nothing together. They all started at day one. You know what? I have half of my shit together and the other half is not together. It's just the way it is. But I'm moving forward because we're taking action. We are action takers. Don't let that stuff stop you. And I'm delighted. Like, I was delighted that you didn't have that stuff together, Jennifer, because it just goes to show that no matter what our expertise is and where we are in our journey, that we're all at different places and we're all experiencing different things. When I come up with a new program, like, oh, this is a new program that I'm going to do. The first thing I do is go see if anybody's going to pay for it. And then I put all the stuff together.
Exactly.
I don't want to spend time, energy, effort, money on putting together a course that nobody's going to buy. Been there, done that. It hurts. And then your inner critic comes out. What did I do wrong? I'm such a failure, right? The inner critic starts showing up. So just go ahead and push yourself out there and do what you're here to do. Don't get stuck in the weeds. Don't let all this stuff stop you from moving forward. If you're on Clubhouse, go open a room. And guess what? If it bombs, close the room and open up a new room. If it bombs, close the room, open up a new room, and just keep going. You've got so much value to offer the world, and it's time for you to get your voice out there. What does it say? Be heard? No, what does it say? I say be seen, be heard, be paid. What does yours say? Be heard? Let's see. Oh, be seen, known, and revered. I like that. Yeah. Be seen, known, and revered for your expertise.
Oh yeah, my thing. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know which way to go. Yeah.
Your
I would say
thing.
even, become the go-to expert in your industry. And if you think from those terms, that you are to be the expert, you need to be the resource. And you can be the resource. That's your expertise. So you're just being a resource to people. And that's how you become an expert.
And you know what? There might be 10,000, a million people that are doing the same exact thing as you're doing. But just like Jennifer said, let's see, what was it? The thing you said, say something new or say it in a new way.
Mm-hmm.
Say something new or say it in a new way. When you're regurgitating all those other people who are saying the same thing, guess what? Nobody is hearing you. I'm sorry to tell you that, but nobody's hearing you because they're here. Oh yeah, I heard that before. I've heard that 10 million times before. Tell me something new. The new, what would you say? The news is,
The plural of what's new.
The plural of what's new. I mean, how cool is that? So start thinking along those lines. What's a catchphrase you use all the time that's different than what other people use? Like I have lots of them. I have over 750 quotes that I've come up in the last few years. And every once in a while I'll share one and be like, oh, I love that. Right. So now I know I've got something, but it's taken them out of that ordinary because you are extraordinary. And it's time for you to share that and get your voice out there, have your voice be heard, have your face be seen, even if you don't like it, that's okay. It's okay. Because people are out there waiting for you to share your message with the world, for you to share your voice, your knowledge, your information, your entertainment, all of that stuff. They're waiting for you. So get out there, go email her, info@engagementpr.com, and let's do it. It's going to be a lot of fun. I already know it's going to be entertaining.
Yeah. We'll do it. Great.
I better go. Oh, Sally, that's your fat cat. Okay. She's got her fat cat.
Cute.
Ladies, thanks so much for showing up today. And does anybody want to say any last thing before we close the room? Comment to Jennifer or just about the event or just something you'd like to share with us. Go ahead and unmute yourself and start speaking. I feel like Kathy's going to say something.
Thank you, Linda, Jennifer.
Everybody, sorry I was late. I love your cat too.
Put in.
What was that, Sally?
Yep. No, I
Oh,
just
you
want
were
to say
s-
thank you to everybody.
Thank you
It was
so
a
much.
good one today.
Brenda, unmute herself. Brenda.
Linda, I just wanted to say thank you for the encouragement that you just gave. I've recently been asked to speak on at a big event, and they want me to have an offer ready. And I almost talked myself out of doing it, but listening to you today, I'm like, okay, I just got to go for it with what I've got now.
Yes. Congratulations. That is so fantastic. Because remember, don't compare yourself today to those who have been doing it for 30 years. They had to start somewhere, right? So we got to put ourselves out there. And you know what? What's cool about this, Brenda, is that you're going to put yourself out there, and there may be some things that you're like, oh man, I shouldn't have said that, or I wish I had said that. But then you know what? You take that to the next one. You take that information to the next one, because we have to have that first time, that second time, that third time. I broke through a fear every single day for a whole year, 365 days in a row. And I still have fears, but I don't let the fear stop me anymore. Actually, I do things now because I'm scared, because I know the result that I'm going to get from facing it is going to be way better than me regretting not doing it. So congratulations for making that decision. Don't let that monkey brain get in the way. Don't let it stop you from moving forward. You got to just keep moving forward. That's how you're going to get the results that you want to get. Rachel, you unmuted yourself. Yes.
Oh God, I'm always excited when I come here, because it's a place where you see, I have seen some of the brilliant women in my life on this, on this platform. And today, oh my God, the two people that spoke, Jennifer, I am looking forward to this class of yours, and I'm really excited about it. And the young lady, was Rashana, I think she's gone. I mean, you have to be smart to, oh, you have to be very smart to observe all the things that we don't observe. Most of the things you talk about happen to all of us. But I never really sat down and said, oh, okay, this is what happening. And it's unbelievable, as young as you are, to do, to know these things. And I mean, it's unbelievable. I'm so excited to them. I almost missed it. I came on and I had to pick up I'm one of the old people that have young kids. I had to pick up my kids, and I said, talk myself out of coming back. I said, no, I got to go back. Something dragged me back here today, and I'm very excited. I'm glad I came.
Well, I'm glad whatever it was that dragged you back got you here. That's so awesome. I can just picture now. I got to get to that WAP meeting right now. I got to go. I gotta go.
Yeah, you're talking about stopping at the food place to buy food that you can get it at your house. I am not stopping anywhere. I'm going back.
Well, congratulations. That's so fantastic. Thank you so much for being here. And really, it's true, yeah, Rashana, just shining that light, on the humor of, what we can see as humorous, because just because we laugh at something doesn't mean we disagree with it. Just because we laugh at something, it just makes it so that we ourselves are really tuning into our human nature and who we are, what we're all about. And it's okay to laugh at things that are tragic, as long as it's not hurting somebody. And I think that's the key here, is to just, not hurting somebody, and to, revel in your successes, all the things that you have going on for you right now in this moment. You revel in those. And I think we have that, right? What does it say there again? We want them to revel at us. They want revered. Okay, same thing. We want them to revere us, So anyway, oh my gosh, I could go on and on and on, but I'm not going to, because I really need to go eat something before we hop onto that clubhouse room. Ladies, thanks so much for being here, and little kid, whoever that was, thanks for being here today. And I look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. Rashana, I look forward to hearing you some more.
I really appreciate you pushing me forward to do this. It was great. And I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for saying yes. Thanks for saying yes. All I did, ladies, is I reached out, I asked a question, and she said yes. She said yes, right? Because I had something that she wanted. Like, that's exactly what Jennifer's talking about. You got to have something that people want, but you got to know how to ask for it. And then just start putting yourselves out there more and more and more. And no matter how scared you are, just put yourself out there and see what results you get. You will get 0 results if you put in 0 effort. So you got to put yourself out there to see the results you're going to get. Kathy, are you waving bye? Okay. Okay, she's telling me, Linda, stop already. Stop already.
Actually, I'm
Okay.
waving for Pamela so she can see that my hands do disappear in my
virtual
Oh.
background.
Oh, I don't have my virtual background right now, but Jennifer, do you want to say any last words before we head out for the day?
I want to say thank you to all of you for being here and thank you for your time, and get creative with what you consider media. So don't be afraid of church newsletters, right? Don't be afraid of school newsletters or whatever, like wherever they get creative. You know what I mean? Newsletters are a medium. So are podcasts, so are radio, so are television, so is your cable station. Do a Google search and you'll be able to find your people.
Ooh, I love that. That's awesome. Let's do it. Let's get in those newsletters, those local newsletters. You know, they're looking for people that can, especially in these times right now, right? Looking for people who will, help to inspire and motivate their people.
Mhm.
So you never know who's reading those. So with that, get creative, get out there, be heard, be paid, be seen, all that stuff. Yeah, just get yourself out there. That's all.
Thanks,
Everybody
guys.
have a great day. And thank you so much. I want to thank we have a comedian, Rashana, and we had our special guest speaker, Jennifer Horspool. We will be here in 2 weeks from today. So whatever that is, the 25th of September, same time, same place, same bat channel. And I look forward to seeing you ladies then. I'll see you around between then. Thanks. Have a great day.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.